Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I'm talking to Brian Billingsley. He's got a company called Klarna North America, and he's CEO of that company. And we're going to talk a little bit about how businesses grow today. How are you today, Brian?
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. Hey, by the way, where are we talking to you from?
So today I'm in Columbus, Ohio, where we're setting up one of our operations. Just got back from Stockholm.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about Klarna. Give us the elevator speech, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. And Klarna exists to simplify buying. And I think quickly to explain what Klarna does is to very quickly explain the problem that we live to solve every day. So to use an in-store example, if you were at any physical retailer and there was 100 people in the line, can you imagine how crazy it would be if 80 to 90 of those people just had their stuff ready to check out and walked away because it was too difficult to pay? I mean, it's almost a ridiculous example because, people would get fired, heads would roll. But that's what retailers experience online every day. They're spending hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars to get people to their websites. But because paying online, there's still so much friction in that process. Between 70 and 90% of those people that make it to the checkout are falling away and don't complete the purchase. And that's the problem that Klarna solves every day for our European merchants. And we're going to start in Q1 solving that problem for U.S. retailers as well.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So, what did you see, on the business landscape that lended to the importance of doing this?
Absolutely. So, if you go back to the first e-commerce transaction, buying and paying for something online are really two sides of the same coin, and they're very rightly so. Has to be, some friction, some due diligence, some compliance, some oversight when you're exchanging value. There's a lot of considerations, both legal and compliance. Now with you have all the OFAC and anti-terrorist type things that need to be checked to make sure that you're not sending money to the wrong person. The problem is for consumers to say, okay, I want that T-shirt or I want that watch or I want that couch. All of that friction is transposed onto that decision. And what Klarna does, and we're really the first company in the world to do this, is to separate the buying from the paying. So you can allow a consumer to say, you know what, I've searched on my phone or on the desktop, I want that T-shirt, and that's the size I want. I'm going to hit buy, and so the merchant can start shipping that product, start fulfilling that order. The consumer doesn't have to pay for that product until later. So, the typical use case I like to give is a consumer that's on the bus, that's looking for, it's bored and searching for things that they want to purchase on the phone. It would be very easy for them just to say, I want to buy that T-shirt or buy that product. But no one wants to get out their credit card, lay it on their knee, someone's sitting right beside them and start typing, all those 40 fields in. And that's what Klarna solves. You can just hit buy and then come back when you're in the comfort and privacy of your own home or in your office and pay for that product later.
So tell me about the type of companies and size of companies that would use your service.
Sure. So the great thing about Klarna, it's a very simple process. So any merchant that's selling online can use Klarna. So in Europe, we have about 45,000 merchants that use us, and that ranges from merchants, mom and pop merchants that maybe do 1, 2, 5 transactions a day, all the way up to some of the biggest e-commerce stores in Europe. So an ASOS, a Marks and Spencer, a Zara, those type companies that do hundreds, if not thousands, of transactions a day use us as well. So we really run the spectrum, and we help simplify buying for the little merchants as well as the biggest merchants on the planet.
Very good. And when did you say you launched this service?
Sure, we're going to be so the company's about 10 years old. Started in Stockholm, Sweden, by 3 students straight out of business school. And over those 10 years, we've rapidly expanded in Europe into the other Nordic countries and then into Germany and Austria and Switzerland. Launched in the UK in July 1. And then we'll be launching our U.S. services in late Q1 of 2015.
What's going to be your biggest challenge in trying to create what I think is essentially a paradigm shift?
Absolutely. I think there's really, I'd say, two challenges, I'd say. One is just it is a new way to buy online. It's an incredible value prop to the merchant. So explaining to a merchant that we can take over your payments problems as soon as that consumer hits buy, Klarna is going to take 100% of the risk on that transaction. So when an online merchant today is having to worry about what payment types do I offer online, what happens if there's fraud, I'm going to get charged these fees. Klarna says, don't worry about that. We're going to take 100% of the risk on that transaction. So to sell it, for the merchants to understand the value prop, it's very, very clear. I think for U.S. consumers, it is a new way to buy. That's a problem that we face, and many, folks in the industry have said, if they expand out of Sweden and go into Germany, they're going to have this problem. Consumers aren't going to understand it. And we've seen in every market that we've gone to just that simplicity and people wanting to be able to buy easily online. It's a global problem. However, it's a new way to buy, and we'll be humble as we come to the U.S. and make sure that we're educating consumers on this new buying process.
And your potential clientele is really any size business, from small to enterprise?
Absolutely. So we'll be going to some of the biggest retailers in the U.S., some that we're already in advanced discussions with to integrate and turn on our solution in that Q1, 2Q timeframe. We're also talking to a lot of the platform providers. So the solutions that you would go to as a much smaller merchant that have a lot of the solutions you need to sell online out of the box. We'll do those integrations, and we are doing those integrations now, and have many of those integrations from all of our European efforts. And so it'll be very easy for the smaller merchants to just turn us on. So we'll really be able to really help a smaller merchant just turn us on and start to increase their conversion very quickly. And then we'll also do direct integrations to some of the biggest retailers in the U.S.
Brian Billingsley has been our guest, CEO of Klarna North America. You can learn more about them at Klarna, KLARNA.com/US. Thanks so much, Brian. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdatareview.com, and this is The Price of Business.